Hello, wild ones. This is Cole Adams with Woohoo Creative, and I am working on a interesting project. I got gifted this cabinet. It's just a little baby cabinet from a project I was working on. I threw some paint on the inside, and now I'm starting to do some collage work over the top of it, and I'm going to plan on collaging the whole interior as well. Something I love to collage with is this paper is all deli paper, and you can kind of see that bottom color, the off paint color. It used to look like this coming through. I also have a vintage ruler copy in here. I have a bunch of vintage rulers in my collection, and this is one of them that I just took to the copy center and copied. This looks like some scrapbook paper, and I'm gonna kind of work on this next shelf and start thinking about this interior space, because that will be pretty big. And then my last conundrum is, do I just pop this piece out and put in plexi so you can see all the wackiness inside, or do I let that be like a surprise? And I'm not sure what color I want to paint the outside. I'm using Mod Podge matte medium for my glue, because I have some in a really old bottle. This is a Sweet Sugar Bell bottle. It's for icing a cupcake or a cake. And what I love about it with glue is that you can put a little stainless steel pin in, and it keeps your glue pretty good. It's not a time. I really like this part right here, so that's what I'm trying to preserve. And I think I'm gonna go up over the top of this wood design a little bit. I make a lot of this paper, this deli paper, when I'm spray painting anything. I use the deli paper to clean off my stencils with. So if you can see up really close, you can see the texture of the deli paper stencil. I think that's it. This is gonna be really quick. Might add some little pieces eventually, but right now I just kind of want to work quick, and it doesn't really matter to me how detailed it is, because there's going to be stuff on this shelf. And I love when you scrub into it, you can get the colors from below out. And because this is going to go into the shelf, I'm going to cut this part off. A different type of ruler. And I'm going to go right here. Super precise. I love working loose. I think it's such a neat way to increase spontaneity and just increase. I love working a lot and being very prolific. So I pre-cut everything out last night while I was watching TV with my family. So it was really easy to do. The hardest part, I think the hard part to film and the hard part to lay out, is going to be in here, inside the hole. I'm not super worried about this being less than whole. This is a piece from 1910. It's a copy of the front of a songbook. Hearts and Flowers. Cours les fleurs, a new flower song by Theo M. Tobin. It's out of copyright, so it's kind of a nice thing to use. I really like the look of it. I love using one kind of big piece or two big pieces And I think this is gonna be my second piece. It's a pull of a mermaid. So everything else that I use is either gonna tuck in or tuck above each layer. And I love the idea of this being like the sea. And I might, I find when you tear deli paper, it glues down way better. These keys are kind of cool, but I don't think I need them. So I think I'm gonna use more stuff like this. Just, I probably painted another painting on top of this, and this is just what's left over. But to fill in spaces, it just adds that little bit of color, that little bit of spontaneity. This is a little off spray. Would work great in a corner. Another piece of a painting. So I'm not gonna be really precise. Ooh, with this layout, this is kind of a neat piece. I took this out of a sketchbook, and sometimes I really like layering that texture over the top. I love seeing like the artist workings. I definitely will use some pieces of my measuring tape. Sorry about that. I lost the thread there for a second. This is kind of interesting. I don't know if you're going to be able to, there we go. This is a copy of the bow that rusted and came off of my mom and dad's knife for when they cut their cake at their wedding. And I love the shape of it. I was kind of thinking of using it like in her hair, but it might have to go behind and then she get cut. I think I'm gonna need to like paint on her a little bit to get her a little popped out. But I'm liking how this is looking right now. So I'm gonna glue this in and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I totally changed my mind. I didn't like the way the really thick paper covered up the background color. So instead, I took this piece fully out of the back and I added just her, and I put her up a little higher so she would get bisected by the shelf in a way that wasn't super intense. There's the two shelves. I still need to do that area, but I did do the roof. I just grabbed another glue bottle because, wow, I needed more glue. I find when you're working on heavy things like furniture, you want to really get it glued down. And I don't mind if this glue is on top and on bottom because I'm gonna add more layers to the top. Bird on. Okay, I want a little bit more up in this corner. Okay, that laid down. And then I think I'm gonna put in a that color in, and then everywhere else has a little of the, not this far over, do like, because of the strength of the deli paper, you can reposition it. I just wanted a little bit more of this like sun shape. But to get that, I really need to go down those edges. There must have been some white paint on this bird paper, and I don't really like that like strong white edge, so I'm just gonna go for adding a little measuring tape when all else fails. Add some measure. I really like it. Okay. And I really want to get up in this corner just a little bit more. I'm going to go in and probably clean up these hooks and maybe really work some space there, but I'm probably going to put words or something in there. But I feel like there's something visual to see in every corner now, and in the piece as a whole. I want to put a little bit more texture here. Got color, but not very textured. So when you get glue out of this, you only get a lot of glue. Kind of funny. Go from none to a lot. I'm gonna put that in there. And then this is gonna take, gosh, over. I'm really liking how the inside of this looks kind of like a cacophony of color. So next steps, the outside and kind of cleaning up the inside and get the shelves in and all those things. Hi, it's the next morning. I'm getting ready to go for a swim. I love to go out and do wild swimming in lakes, but I am gonna do a quick little change of medium. I love to keep different art supplies in fun, unique boxes. I do the paper in the game boxes, and then I do all my acrylic pens in a lunchbox. So I love to keep a little paint swatch thing with some blank paper inside so that I can test the pen out. This is where we're at. I did add a little bit more paper throughout just to cover up those few spots that I saw, but everything's dry now and I can go in with pens and not feel like I might have a problem. I like to use whatever brand the color comes in, but probably my favorite water-based paint marker is these Montana markers. Montana brand, they're refillable. I really love the big ones because I love to work large, but I do have like a set of pretty cheapios. I have some Molotow, not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but mainly the Montanas are my favorite. I'm gonna put a color palette, I'm guessing, on the lid so I know where I'm selecting from, and I'm gonna leave all the black, white, and golds for later if I need them, but I'm hoping I won't use them in this project because I really want the inside to be just utterly colorful, and I think I'm going to do the outside a little bit later, so we'll come back to this project later, but I want to kind of really decide how much fun I want on the outside versus do I want it to just like explode color when you open it. So how I like to work with these pens is doing, I'm gonna bring you closer so you can really see the project, is going in, this is one of the background colors or close to it, is going into the edges and really putting some on, oh, you can't see that part, putting some on, and I might, ooh. See, these are kind of old, so this one is like stuck inside and now I have a bunch of ink, and I don't mind being inky, so I'm just gonna go in with my finger and add some of this color to the edge, but that's not quite as much contrast as I want, so I'm gonna go in with a yellow. I feel like yellow will pick up a lot of colors. There's a tiny bit of yellow in some of the papers, and I love how it's pulling out. So I'm gonna go in and put quite a significant amount and then scrub it out into areas where I can use it as like a paint, but also really highlight and create a border and maybe some transition colors between some of the papers. I already love that so much more than was there. But I find whenever I'm working that way, I want to add some other colors in. Sometimes you can get some good color mixing. These pens are pretty dead because both of them have stayed down since I pumped them. So I'm being a little risky to use it directly on, but that's life without a little risk. So I'm just gonna go around and create this border and hopefully create some more fun, because there wasn't enough color in this piece. So that's my next little bit, pretty much doing that all the way around, and I'll come back and show you the final inside product in a bit. Okay, I got the edges done, and I was gonna show you, I did one more little technique to kind of blend some of these areas, and this looks a little boring to me. I'm gonna do some like fake writing on this, where I just go through really quickly and do some graffiti-like writing just to blend all those areas. If I want to, I could also scrub an edge right here, but that's all I wanted to show you, and then I'll show you the final of adding a little bit of edging to everything. I went back in the edges of the corners, but pretty much she's done.